All right, didn't have enough time to really explain this in class, so we're going to do a quick look at how to use Desmos to deal with the paragraph lab data, just kind of a general how-to with Desmos. So I have Desmos linked off of both of the blogs, so you just need to go over there to click on the side if you can't remember the website, which is www.desmos.com. Once you get there, just start graphing. You can link it to your Google account. If you pop over here to the side, there's a little sign in. Click on that, and I think you can link it to your Google account. Students were able to figure that out pretty reasonably last year. The other things that we need to worry about, let's see if I can slide over. How do we graph here? So we're going to need to use this add item button. And the first thing I'm going to add in is a table. I'm not going to retitle these. It doesn't seem to like when you mess with that. So I'm just going to start entering data. Let's see, 6.57. Not putting units on this. I don't think it likes units in the data table. So I'll just have to remember what these things are when I go to label it later. Okay, and I'm not entering everything. I'm just going to enter enough that we can see some stuff in the graph. We don't see anything on the graph right now because, oh man, I'm going to be struggling with the small window here. So if I zoom out, there are my data points. Okay, and I look at this trend, and it seems like the wider the paragraph, the shorter it is, the less tall. So as width increases, length decreases, or you can say as length increases, width decreases. But that's an inverse relationship. So now I want to input a mathematical equation that describes an inverse relationship. And you're probably familiar with that, looking like y equals 1 over x. But if I put that in, you can see that shows up on the graph as this orange line here, and that doesn't hit my points at all. So you could just go through and guess and check with the numbers here until you get it, or I can put in a variable there. Let's call it a, and then Desmos offers to let me put in a slider, and that'll just let me kind of try different values here. Obviously it doesn't want to be negative, that doesn't fit at all. Positive, oh man, it's going to be more than 10. So I can change this. I can go in and double click or single click, hey, what do you know? And let's make that be 100. Okay, so now it'll go up to, all right, we're making a quick edit to find the coefficient. So I have this slider set up down here, and I'm just going to hit play because that looks cooler. And you don't have to let it run continuously like this. You can just scroll through until you think it's at a value that closely matches the points on your graph. But I didn't want to give that away, so that's why I'm making this video. Oof. So it's going to work with the data points that you have. Okay, what is that coefficient A? What does that need to be for your graph? And in addition to using Desmos to figure out what that coefficient needs to be, you also need to put some thought into what the units are. Desmos won't do that work for you. So if the equation is y equals a over x, and y is my height, which is in centimeters, and x is my width, which is in centimeters, what do the units for a need to be so that this equation is valid, so that the left side does equal the right side? Okay, so put some thought into that. Other stuff you'll need to do, again, this is that little spot where you can sign in with your Google account. Use this wrench tool for graph settings, and this is where you can add an x-axis label. So we need to call this, let's see, I think the x was the width, and that's in centimeters. Oof. And then the y-axis label, I think that's height, and that's in centimeters. And so you'll see now that shows up on my graph. Okay, that's about the size of it. You know, you might reposition the graph here a little bit, just so we don't need any of the stuff that's over here in the second, third quadrants. So let's just focus on where the graph actually is. Okay, over here. That's pretty much it. Save it, share it with your group mates, maybe print off a copy of the graph to bring to class, and make sure you know all the important stuff that you figured out over here, like what is the equation, what is the coefficient value. Okay, good luck.